everyone, today I'm going to be doing a ye olde book tag. I feel like book tags have really died off of BookTube and I think that we should bring them back. So today I'm going to be doing the Houseplant book tag. I was tagged by the creator herself, Queen of Teen Fiction. Her video will be linked in the description box. You should definitely go and check it out. But yeah, this is a relatively new tag. I'm glad that there's new tags being created because, like I said, I think we should bring them back. I'll be honest, I do love a good houseplant. I don't have any right now that aren't fake. Also, it's a little dusty, so don't look too close at it. But I can't keep houseplants alive, at least not right now. I once killed a cactus because for some reason I was under the impression that it didn't need to be watered ever. And then I also killed a bamboo because I got it confused with a cactus. So, right now, I'm just not bringing any real houseplants into my life. As soon as I can figure out how to keep myself alive, then maybe we'll bring in a houseplant. But anyways, let's get started with the questions. So question 1 is Monstera, and that is a book you saw so much you ended up reading it. For this, I'm going to go with To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is obviously a very, very popular series on BookTube. It's also a very popular movie, and for the longest time, I was not interested in it. The plot itself didn't really intrigue me. Then the movie came out and everyone loved the movie and I was like, I feel like I'm missing out. So I ended up reading it kind of apprehensively. I really went into it thinking I was gonna hate it, but I did not. I actually loved this book and gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I then watched the movie and loved it also, and I read the whole series, also loved it, read the second movie, watched the second movie, also loved that. I guess this was one of those books where the hype was there for a reason. Question 2 is Cactus, and that is a character you love despite their flaws, and I had a kind of a hard time coming up with an answer for this because I tend to not really see the flaws in characters, and if I do, then I don't usually like them. But I ended up going with Lada from the End I Darken series. She definitely has her sort of flaws. She's a very ruthless person, which she was definitely raised to be that way, so it's not completely her fault, but I still love her character despite her ways, so yeah. Question 3 is Aloe Vera, and that is your favorite comfort read. For this, I went with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. This is the book that I've probably reread the most times, and it's one of those books that I just know no matter how many times I reread it, I'm still going to love it, and it has never let me down, so this is definitely my favorite comfort read. Question 4 is Succulent, and that is a book trope you actually love. And the thing about this question is that I can love any book trope if it's done correctly, except maybe the love triangle thing. There's always one guy I will always prefer and I'm just bored with the other one and he doesn't need to be there. But I feel like hate to love, the fake dating trope, all the other ones I can't think of right now, I feel like I can love every single one of them when they're done correctly, and a couple that I come to mind with the fake dating trope is the To All the Boys I Loved Before, and also the Fill-In Boyfriend. Both of those books did the fake dating trope super well. A hate to love trope story that I really loved that I just read recently was Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett, and also Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. They both had a kind of hate to love story. So yeah, if they're done well, I think I can love almost any trope. Question 5 is Snake Plant, and that is a book character that betrayed you. And I honestly don't have an answer for this question. I stared at my shelves for a good 5 minutes trying to think of an answer for this question, but I just don't think I've ever really been betrayed by a book character. So if I did, it was so bad that I blocked it out of my memory, so there's that. Question 6 is Spider Plant, and that is a book you wish had a sequel or a series you want more of. This is another one that I kind of had a difficult time coming up with an answer for because I'm a firm believer in quitting while you're ahead and not pushing something too much. But a couple books or series that I would like to see well done sequels to would be the Lunar Chronicles because I just love those characters and I just want more of them. Also, I'd love a sequel to The Hunger Games. I know we're getting a prequel, but I'd love a really, really well written sequel. Also, I just recently reread It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I would like to see a sequel to that book also. Question 7 is Peace Lily, and that is a book with a beautiful cover, and one of my favorite covers on my shelf is definitely this edition of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I just love this cover so much. I got it off of Book Depository, and even though the outside of this book is gorgeous, the inside is just as gorgeous. Like, this is such a beautiful story, and I've talked about it on my channel so many times, but just read this book if you haven't already, because it's gorgeous on the inside and the out. Next question is English Ivy, and that is favorite fictional friendship group, and I have two answers for this question. The first one is, of course, the Lunar Chronicles, again, because I just love those characters and how they interact with each other. I just love it. But also, of course, Six of Crows. They also have the best, like, cast of characters ever, and I love them together also. So, those two. Question 9 is Areca Palm, and that is a book you think everyone should have on their shelf, and for this I went with The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This is a book that I read recently and I super loved. It is set during World War II in Germany, and it is narrated by death. If that doesn't intrigue you, I don't know what will. But this is a book I avoided for a really long time because I wasn't really interested in it. I'm not a super big historical fiction person. I really don't like things set during the war, so I really avoided this book, and then I read it and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So I really think that a lot of people would enjoy this book even if you don't think you're going to. It just has such a great meaning and like lesson behind it. And I saw some people DNF'd it on Goodreads because they thought the beginning was too boring. And yes, it is a little bbit slow in the beginning, but I think once you get past that part and you really connect with the characters, I think it's a story that everyone can really like love. So yeah, I think this is such an amazing book and everybody should have it on their shelf. And then question 10 is Chinese Evergreen, and that is your favorite fictional world. I'm pretty sure every time I'm asked this question I give a different answer, but it is usually a tie between Wonderland, Narnia because talking animals, or Middle Earth. And for this one, I think I'm gonna go with Middle Earth because I was just like thinking about it, and like I grew up, even though I grew up watching Narnia and like Alice in Wonderland, but I feel like when I think about like the movies that I watched as a child, the one that always like stands at the top of that list is The Lord of the Rings, and I love that world so much. So I think I would love to go to Middle Earth and just like hang out in Hobbiton or like Rivendell. I almost said Riverdale, which was a little disturbing. Rivendell, and like, oh, can you imagine reading books in Rivendell? That would just be such a fun time. So I think I'll have to go with Middle Earth. So those are all of the questions. I am going to tag Melissa over at The Bookish Babbler and also Vanessa over at Paper Fairy. I'd love to see both of them do this video on their channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?